Alright. Now, you remember how I told you that we were going to be going to the pretentious dialogue room for all the cutscenes from this point forward?
Yes, and
I hope you're ready for it.
Oh, I'm looking forward to it.
Oh yeah, so we get the quote from the end of last time. I'm just going to start putting these at the beginning of the episodes, instead of putting the next episode's quote at the end of the last one.
Okay.
So, yeah. Welcome to the memory space, if it'll load. This is where Nilin will talk for about 3 minutes at the beginning of every single episode from this point forward. And some of the dialogue is really, really pretentious, which is kind of unfortunate. So yeah, it's all background. Yeah, Comfortress. It's great.
That is so good.
It's a good name. So yeah, the San Michel Comfortress is basically like the high-end district, where everybody that can afford to be rich is rich.
Who can afford to be rich.
Yeah, pretty much.
I like it.
Or even just middle class. Like, this is the comfortable living. And by the way, glove again. The glove, this is the outfit by the rest of the game. This never changes. You get out of prison clothes and then you do this for the rest of the game. I will admit, the glove is probably one of the coolest pieces of tech in this game. And the glove is never explained how it works.
That's great.
Basically, it interfaces with your... It's sort of explained. It interfaces with your sensen, and it interfaces with their sensen, and then it allows you to fuck with it, somehow. But you need to have the right neural setup to be able to use a glove.
And you're just that special person?
We're just that special person. Well, it might have been built for us, too, like this glove.
Okay.
And that's explained a bit later. But the tech for the gloves in general, it's like, this is super advanced. We don't know how this got into the hands of Ares. It's highly suggested that Edge was the one who stole it.
Okay.
Which is kind of why he's the leader.
Yeah, and we're probably going to learn a lot more about Edge in the coming episodes.
Oh, it's going to be a while.
Is it really?
It's going to be a long while till we learn about Edge.
So we just kind of listen to him for now?
Yeah. Well, I mean, he knows enough to be mission control, so we're just like, fuck it, we'll let him handle it.
Okay.
Plus, he busted us out of the Bastille, so he can't be that bad a guy.
That's true.
Your first target's name is
So yeah, we're going to just go ahead and go steal some shit.
Who is she?
The most famous
We're going to steal the memories of how to get in to certain buildings from the architect.
I kind of like it.
Yeah,
pretty cool.
it's pretty cool. Oh, by the way, all the errors have really cheesy names. Bad Request is the guy that we're going to meet up with. So yeah, welcome to the high-end district. It is filled with robots and colorful hair.
And it does look considerably nicer.
Yep, also, you like that graffiti of the Mona Lisa?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Classy.
So one of the things about the higher class in this game is actually they pay to have painful memories removed.
No one chooses which
They voluntarily sacrifice their painful memories so as to never... Which is why Edge is so angry with them.
Because he wants them to feel pain.
Because he wants them to be human. He thinks they're, like, disregarding everything that they don't like. And there's more to this that's explained with Edge later. Like, there's a reason he hates people discarding their painful memories.
Mm-hmm.
But, again, that's not explained for a long, long while.
And the Leapers...
Oh, by the way, there's a collectible.
Yeah.
Yeah, the Leapers.
Do they seek out the painful memories, or...
No, those go straight to memorized central servers. Where they're just, like, kept instead deleted in case for some reason the people ever miss out on payments, I guess? I mean, like, that'd be really weird to have a company blackmailing its patrons.
Yeah.
But, on the other hand, they're really the ones that manage the servers. So... Oh yeah. You remember the scene at the beginning of iRobot where it bumps into him and it's just trying to get an inhaler? Pretty much that. Also, those faces were decided upon because apparently they were serene and caused people to be calmer around the robots.
Yeah, not what I would describe them as.
Oh, check this guy out. Kid Christmas. Bounty Hunter for hire on Channel Fear.
Channel Fear.
The Christmas show. Kid Christmas is one of my favorite characters in this game, just for actually having a personality.
Yeah.
Beyond waxing poetic or being a massive bitch.
Yeah. Well, that's
by the way, here's some police officers. This cannot go badly in any way.
No, not at all.
Thank you.
Oh, so yeah, people basically get Alzheimer's automatically once they start getting older, if they've got a shitty sensin, because it just starts failing.
Oh.
Yeah. Oh. At least they're competent though, like they immediately recognize it's the fugitive.
Yeah.
They don't just go like, well ma'am, you look to be a trustworthy person, we're going to go ahead and leave you. So welcome to combat with actual competent opponents. It is the exact same as combat with Leapers, except they have different animations. And they actually, like, Leapers will just kind of swarm you, where these guys will actually start to circle you and they'll try to hit you when you aren't paying attention.
Yeah.
And disrupt your combos, which makes dodging very important since you have to dodge around them. By the way, there's a thing for the... Oh, and here's overloading. It's a finishing move.
Wow.
Yeah, and the way that that's explained... Oh yeah, here's how it happens. You trigger power presence. Here's how that's explained. You're basically overloading their sensin with junk data. So you're performing a DDoS attack against the human brain. And they just shut down as a result. It's pretty fantastic.
That is actually kind of fantastic.
In both meanings of the word.
Yes.
Yeah. So yeah, this guy just did not want to go down, but there we go. Got an overload on him as well. Overloads will also give you more energy for actual like abilities that you have later, but we're not going to see that for a while.
Okay.
So yeah, we get another key, and I'm going to just unlock the Y there, the power Y, so we can actually just make our YXYXY combo the main one that I'm going to be using. Because
Okay.
the X and Y being at positions 3, 4, and 5 actually makes it more powerful than my 3 hit. So right over that wall is an upgrade, is what that's basically telling me. So of course we're going to start just climbing.
And then
Taking the high road.
And then-
some music.
Instincts are coming back.
Yeah, music happens quite a bit.
Who were they? The uniforms.
So yeah, private police financed by the company.
Crowd control
Wow.
with a
Because, well, the thing is, the official governments have kind of fucked off with the, like, decline of society. So Memorize is the closest thing there is to a privately owned and operated government, kinda? Because they fund a lot of stuff for the public benefit.
Okay.
I mean, there presumably is still a government and they're still doing something, but Memorize functions as an impromptu government to the effect that the husband of the president actually has what is pretty much a private country of sorts in the middle of a giant tower.
Sounds like a place I'd want to be.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. Anyway, so we're about to, I love that guy's voice. I'm putting you in a hospital. I was always picked on for my voice in high school, but now I'm going to beat the shit out of a criminal. Oh, now we turn into an angel.
The fuck?
Yeah, this is our first special present. Basically, you have abilities. The blue bar is our energy. When you have a full bar of energy from hitting shit in the face or getting punched, you can use abilities. And the first ability is you don't have to bother with X or Y. You will perform presence at full power for the duration of this ability.
So you kind of just walk around enemies and you go.
But you can still be hit, so you still have to pay attention.
Okay.
So yeah, as you can see, I got hit twice, and my HP is pretty much gone.
Yeah.
So hard mode is no joke, and you generally have to take nearly no hits to be able to get through. There is one enemy in the game that kind of requires you to take hits to be able to fight them. And they are by far the worst enemy in the game.
Okay.
But they show up so often that you start to realize how to deal with them. So, yeah, and early in the game, overloads are the way to take care of things. Eventually... Oh, and this also gives you extra focus, which is the name of the energy. So when you perform a finishing move, you get extra energy for moves. And we're being surrounded by dudes, so nothing to do for it but go into the combo lab. So much for dramatic tension, right?
Yeah.
So this is a cooldown present. When you perform a cooldown present, all your ability cooldowns are reduced by a certain value depending on how deep into the combo it is.
Oh, is that the ear slap again?
I
Love
think
that.
that is the ear slap.
Yeah.
Yeah, there we go. So we get to cool down with the ear slap a bit. So the more that we do that, the quicker we're able to activate our Sense and Fury again. By the way, I hope you like seeing Sense and Fury here because we're pretty much never going to use it again.
Really?
Really.
Seems kind of useful.
It does, but then you start to realize that your regular combos will deal more damage, and eventually you start getting to the point where... Oh, and I say we're not going to use it again, but I just mean that for general combat. There are some bosses that require it.
Okay.
But eventually you just start realizing that using your combos to their full potential will deal more DPS than your Sense and Fury could. Sense and Fury is just more like if you can't be fucked to land a combo and have to get some damage out. To the extent
But
that...
fuck it, let's do it again.
Exactly. No, yeah, for the first part of the game it's absolutely fantastic, and for this fight they pretty much require you to use it. Just because there are so many enemies. You could do it without, but it would just take forever.
Are you invulnerable while you do the overload?
While doing overload animations, yes. While in abilities, generally... Actually, also yes. If you're doing that animation where she, like, growls like a cat or whatever it's called? I don't know. What do cats do? It's like the...
Meow?
It's like a jungle cat sort of sound? Like the...
Yeah, I'd say that's growling.
Okay. Also, by the way, these show up, like, twice. You have to get across them quickly enough. So this is just your introduction to fast movement. You have to hold the right bumper to move faster, which I'm not a big fan of. When you have to actively include a button to make yourself move at maximum speed.
Yeah.
Like, Anyway, so we get another ad for Kid Christmas here, and another ad for the woman that we're going to be stealing the memory from.
Nice.
And considering how much Olga Sedova showed up in the previous chapter,
What's this
before we
request
actually
then?
saw her, you can probably take a decent stab at who the boss is going to be for this chapter.
Kid Christmas?
It is.
Nice. Oh no, spoilers.
Oh no, slight spoilers, but who
Okay.
cares? This chapter's only like a half hour long. They all are.
Okay.
But Kid Christmas is all of the boss fights. I said this game took a couple of hints from God Hand, and the customizable combos with different animations, that was part of God Hand, except
Okay.
God Hand also had different timing and actually difficult and varied fights. Okay, maybe not varied, but actually difficult fights for sure.
Yeah.
Whereas Remember Me doesn't. But one other thing that it took that I'm really glad it did is a power trio of really enjoyable bosses.
That is good. Enjoyable bosses.
Enjoyable
Like a
bosses are generally like a really solid thing for a game. By the way, electrified currents running along a roof. Exposed. This meets big building regulations, I'm sure. But we're going to ignore the pipe down and we're going to go ahead and get in our collectible. It's been a little while since we got one of those.
game. Nice. So I take it you've seen all these off screen.
Yeah. See, here's the thing. I actually played through this game twice.
Okay.
And by twice, I mean twice recently. I played it once when it came out. The playing through twice was, I would go through every single level with a guide as to the locations of all of the unlockables, and collect them as I went, and then I would record this right afterwards while it was still fresh in my memory.
Just
So-
so as to assist the gamer looking for
Exactly.
their own collectibles.
Yeah.
That's a pretty good idea.
Yeah, exactly. And when I say that I looked at, like, the locations of them, I mean I actually looked up a guide, because some of this stuff is just absurd.
Big
Yeah.
Charlie and his grand scheme.
So there is a thing for an upgrade, and the upgrade is actually right behind us.
That damn
You just go through this gate right over here, and
Very
it's,
casually.
yeah,
in
we
no
can-
hurry.
This is the fastest I can walk right now
Star genius.
during this cutscene. So yeah, we find out about Cartier Wells.
Memorize CEO is his wife.
Scylla Cartier-Wells runs Memorize, and he invented Sensen,
1,000 reasons to bite your
Okay.
and is her wife, or she is his wife. He is her wife.
He is her husband.
Yes, he is her husband. So yeah, long live La Commune and all that stuff. The name of the city is Nemopolis.
Pronounced very well.
He's big into memes. Yeah, they pronounce it like 50 fucking times in this game. I'm never gonna mispronounce that one. So anyway, we find Bad Request. I mean, he actually has it identified as Bad Request in his Sensen. Gauges, piercings, pretentious haircut. He fits the bill.
Yep.
And he's just like, holy shit, a woman.
Nilin the Hunter.
So yeah, he is our biggest fan, which they won't hesitate to remind us.
I've already scouted a route. It's not the first time I've been shopping in the land of the rich.
I'm looking for the architect's offices.
Everything's in here. An hour ago, I memorized.
So this is
In-
actually in
in
here.
here.
Yeah, exactly. I don't think they actually showed him pointing to it, but they animated it. I like to think that, like, the camera guy for this thing just didn't notice.
That would be funny, actually.
So anyway, we're going to actually take memories from Bad Request.
Hopefully painfully.
No. No, we're capable of doing it non-painfully. Overloads are a special occasion.
Everything.
Yes.
Okay.
Follow my past. A trail of remembrance.
Remembrains.
Everything
By the
you
way,
need
get
to
used to that term, too.
grows through the comfort of
Remembrains.
Remembrains were actually developed originally by crime scene investigators. They would take the memories from everyone who was in the area with the Sensen, or the, well, if they allowed them to. Like,
Oh, you still had to have consent.
yeah, you still have to have consent to be able to reach into someone's head and remove their memories.
Okay.
And they would actually make rememberings, which allowed the police officers to walk around in real time and see what was going on.
Hello, Nilla. If everything
Kind of
went to
cool.
plan,
And Bad Request was talking to the air about 15 minutes ago. Or 1 hour ago, sorry. He was
9:01 a.m.
9:01 a.m. Yeah.
you better be ready, because
Here we go. Okay, so remembrance have a couple of tricks to them. Pretty much the only one that's of note is, well, there are two of note. The first one is synchronizing. You have to get to a position where you can see whatever they're doing.
reveal hidden information. There you go. I'll let you synchronize.
So Bad Request is actually just like, here, I will tell you all about remembrance, even though you should know all this shit. You have to lock on as if you were going to shoot them with something we'll get later, and then you have to rapidly tap B.
Okay. You'll have to shoot them. ... Never mind.
Don't worry, the gun is not particularly good, so... So yeah, if you use an S-Pressin, you use a chunk of focus, and I'll just, you know what, fine game, we'll go ahead and use Sense and Fury this time. You really want us to. Some of your hits can actually hit multiple enemies. I don't believe this was intended, but it's really helpful. Because it is possible for like the last hits in your combo, if they're wide sweeping kind of moves, to actually hit multiple opponents at the same time, and therefore deal full damage that the late combo chain ability would do to everybody.
That seems useful.
Hey, I'm back. Ready to play.
So do
Also-
you ever get to play around with that? The the variety of the last attack, or is the 5th point in your combo always going to be a high jump kick or whatever?
No. If you look on the Sensen screen, if you look at it when I'm doing it, which you won't get much chance to, I generally do it pretty quickly, or I try to cut out the areas where I fuck with it too much. You'll notice that all of the different abilities have different animations. Like every single S-Pressin has a every single Pressin has a different animation assigned to it. So you can technically customize your combo, I think.
Okay, yeah, that might be cool.
Yeah. So anyway, we're getting choppers hunting for us, and there's a giant thing in the sky that's never mentioned again.
Seems like a common
Just
theme in this game.
Yeah, pretty much. Like, there's a lot of backstory to this game that isn't really expanded upon, and a lot of stuff they expect you to take for granted because it's the future,
Right.
that sort of stuff.
And, you know, I kind of see it. It's one of those games where they're like, just take this stuff for granted and enjoy the game.
Enjoy the story as we go. So, Bad Request actually is able to see drone patrol
I
areas.
threw together a device that allows me
But,
to see
since we can't see them, the only parts that we can see are near where Bad Request is. Which is a really cool thing. I like that this game
Yeah.
does it.
So you kind of just have to...
Okay, so you actually see that he failed the jump too, and managed to crack the window, which is still there, even out of the memory. Like, I double checked, I waited for him to disappear, and yep, window's still cracked. So we're not going to jump over there. Instead, we're going to get a collectible.
Ah, yes. See, some games with collectibles seem to do this, where they
It's
like...
show you exactly where to go and then hide it just of you. By the way, Bad Request kind of cracked the window. We just flat out shouted it. And this guy was just like lifting weights or something.
But he ain't having none of this.
Alright, check this out. Christmas Murder, a compilation of my best arrests uncensored. I seriously love Christmas, or Kid Christmas.
the
Christmas
best
is-
of Christmas all year round.
I know, it's so good. So she actually remembers him though.
This Kid Christmas.
A little
I knew
bit.
him. He's a
Interesting.
memory hunter like me.
Was. He's the shame of your profession. Could have been a genius, but he traded his soul for a fat paycheck.
And an ego boost. 'Cause
And
he
some
is,
style.
seriously, no, like, most of the errorists just seem like tight asses. Kid Christmas seems like the guy who's actually having a bit of fun with it.
Yeah.
Also, we're going to collect something there. We're getting a focus boost. Focus boosts are the energy equivalent of heart containers.
Okay.
Also, I'm looking around for a memory here because I knew there was one, but I couldn't find it. Also, I wanted to make sure I'm fully healed because I'm pretty sure we have another fight coming up here. It's not Kid Christmas yet, but... And he's everywhere. I mean, like, if there's going to be a boss, they will make sure you recognize them by the end of the episode.
That's pretty great.
Oh,
Uh-oh.
also Chopper. And since we broke Bad Request's shattered window, we have fallen off his trail of remembrance. So we're just kind of playing it by ear for now. Luckily, there's literally only one way to go in the game. This game is very kind of linear hallway, even if it's not always a linear hallway.
No, it seemed like that with the jumping puzzles.
Yeah. And usually most of the collectibles are finding a different way around the jumping puzzles. So I was going to try to demonstrate that you could use Sense and Fury to dodge hits there, but apparently I forgot about it and got hit anyway. So, not the greatest thing. But I'm just using this because I don't have any other abilities to fall back on, and I'm nearly out of health.
That was kind of cool, though, how you would jump back and forth between enemies. I'm
Yeah,
guessing using
like,
the dodge.
it's free flow combat. Or wait, what are you talking about?
When you had the sense and special ability activated?
Yeah, no, that is literally just, you will jump, but even when you're not using that ability, by the way, that ability, last hit the both of them, since they were closely grouped.
Okay.
But no, that is Sense and Fury. It will automatically jump you between, by the way, they're just standing back and watching their guy get overloaded. It will automatically jump you between, so it's an immediate auto-target, auto-chain button spam.
See, for a moment there, I thought you were actually good at the game, and you were like dodge rolling between the enemies.
No, that's mostly what happens later, because one thing you'll notice with the LP is that as the game goes on, I do get a little bit better at the combat. Like, I'm still a bit rusty with the first things, but by the end of the game, you really have to be competent on hard mode to get through. Not good, but competent.
Competent.
Yeah, like, the game never gets much past needing to be competent. So anyway,
Am I going to be climbing?
going to
much
go ahead and
longer?
heal up here.
Kaori Sheridan loves to contemplate her
Yeah, you
creations
took some
from her
damage
balcony.
from that fight.
Yeah, no, like 2 hits, you'll be down, like, most of your health. Also,
And-
quick pause to check out the combo lab here.
Okay.
I'm just going to put a regen press in there and a combo press in there. That way, if I need to cool down my combos, use the triple X. If I need to just do regular combat, YX, YX, Y.
It does seem like a good idea.
So yeah, we're just going to climb up the middle of this apartment building, which for some reason has a hole through it.
It looks pretty cool.
It does, I will admit. Oh, and another ad for Kid Christmas playing in the background. Have you gotten that he's going to be important yet?
You know, I might have gotten that by
Okay,
now.
okay, good. I'm glad. And another thing for Carrie Sheridan in our wanted poster for us. So we're back with bad requests for membranes now, which we managed to find somewhere. And the warning sign says drones will shoot to kill, but all they actually do is just zap you and you're sensing and you fall unconscious. So
Set phasers to zap.
set phasers to fuck up memories, I guess?
To get to the other side, we're going
This is actually a decent thing that I like with this game. It's never outright explained, but drones can't see through walls because of what is called a privacy statute, so I can only imagine that when these drones were introduced, they were able to see through walls. By the way, we're ignoring that for collectibles.
Oh no.
We need to go over here. There we go. Yeah, just a little hole in the wall over here, which leads to a different room, which has a Mnesist Memory.
Glad you know where those are, kids.
Yeah, no, seriously. And by the way, you head down here, bottom of the stairs, sap patch. And there are not 5 sap patches per chapter. So the only time, if you're collecting all of them, that you will be at 0 and you're at full is at the very end of the game. When you've collected everything, which is pretty cool. So I can only imagine that people were really pissed about drones, like they're going to be peeking on us in our rooms and things, seeing through our walls, and people got up in arms.
Yeah, I would be upset.
Yeah.
Mildly.
And then they were just like, fine, you know what? Drones cannot see through walls, officially. And he just kind of points at the drone, which he can't see
here
anymore.
we are.
So yeah, I actually really like that. It's never outright stated, but you can piece together what happened. Whereas with most of the game, it's either not explained or explained too much. And in case you hadn't gotten used to it yet, here's a giant screen advertising Kid Christmas. And he's calling us out, saying that he's going to be hunting us and taking us down live on TV. So everybody's going to be tuning in, naturally.
Hey, has a nice little logo there.
Yeah. I mean, like Edge said, he traded his soul for a fat paycheck, but he also got a decent advertising team when he was at it.
Yes, he did.
Oh, so I'm trying to dodge there, and I'm actually
Oh
get
my
hit
goodness.
twice, and as you can see, I'm like, done.
Yeah, 2 hits. You are very low.
Thank God for the ability to heal by hitting things, or these fights would be fucking impossible. And I think they did actually scale the damage, taking this into account. But,
Right,
oh,
making it-
one other thing about the dodge move, it's really finicky. Like, if you dodge over an enemy, it will keep your combo, but if you just dodge away, it won't. So oftentimes, I'll try to dodge over an enemy, but the game just won't let it happen. And it'll break my combo that way. So we get another key here. And, I'm thinking, you know, I could unlock something. YXYXY or XXX.
I mean,
we
you're
got
looking
one
for
key.
more damage right now. But...
Yeah, I am, but it's not really happening. So I'm going to put some cooldown there, just in case I ever need it. And then I'm going to swap this with the healing present that I have in there.
So, top combo is not going to be doing much in terms
Top,
of damage.
well no, the last two are still damage.
Oh,
You should be close
But now
to
it
the
has a little bit
target.
of cooldown, a little bit of healing.
What kind
a little
of
bit of
memory
everything. I mean, you're just
firstly?
sampling your
Yeah.
presence.
Yeah, definitely.
Miss Sheridan directs the
And I do
field
eventually get
response.
it nailed down
The
once I've got a
Neo Paris
bunch.
global renovation.
Because you're going to need just healing and damage in a single long combo. Because this game actually puts in where if you perform a long combo, you get
I'm a
some
believer in
PMP
the
for
free
free.
circulation of persons
Like,
and
6 hits or longer, 6 or 7 hits or longer, you get free experience.
Have they described what the PMP is for yet? Is that
Yeah, it's the thing that's
keys?
unlocking the keys.
Got it.
I mentioned that briefly in the last episode, but not very much. So anyway, we're just going to sneak across to where her apartment is, because we managed to, we managed to get here.
You know what that image needs?
And she's just talking to herself.
That is not right. I need to check those measurements again.
And then we're just going to sample some information from her head.
Where was I already?
And she shows up in, like, she has her own memory thing. She's mentioned as the person that's remodeling the entire city of Paris. She shows up for one scene and has a bunch of ads and is never seen again.
Really strange.
That's it. That is the entirety of her importance, is giving us this memory. Also redesigning the entire of Paris. Oh. Ed is getting a bit fuzzy.
Edge, your bit rate's tumbling.
Oh, and
Your
this ga-
bit rate.
your bit rate. No, yeah, this
that's
game actually
good.
is just like, oh, by the way, I fucked up my combo. That was my button press.
Oh
there.
my god.
That's my bad. So yeah, Edge is having a bit of
Your bit
trouble
rate's tumbling.
communicating with us because someone's trying to hijack our comms right after we heard that someone was going to be hunting us.
I'll see if I can find a clue.
Uh-oh.
Uh-oh. Okay, so yeah, another one of these, too. Look at that. First time I tried to climb across this, I actually fucked it up. What you're supposed to do is wait for it to flip across this way and then go immediately. You don't try to follow it after it flips,
Yeah.
because then it flips back too quickly. But yeah, nice cinematic shot here. You get a good shot of Paris. Eiffel
That
Tower's still
tiny
there.
little Eiffel Tower.
Yeah, tiny Eiffel Tower comparatively. But you also get you could barely see it, but right there in the distance, I think you could have seen Monopolis. Either that or it was another three-pronged building. Also another Mnesist Memory. And that's the last one for this chapter, I think.
Yeah, that one was actually not really far off the beaten path.
No, it wasn't. Some of them are pretty easy. Like, that was one I got on my first playthrough, but a lot of them are just, like, bullshit.
Mm-hmm.
So you have healing here, and also you see a thing by a bunch of turbines. We're actually... Oh, loading. Might as well just say it. If you turn right, you'll immediately grab this focus boost, but that's the last one for the chapter. We're actually not going to get another chunk of focus for 2 more chapters.
Okay.
You read me.
Is it even useful? I mean, right now you only have that one.
Right, no, it is very
Send me
useful,
the codes.
especially at the end of the game.
Okay, uploading them.
So,
Perfect.
we just
All
sent
that's
the
left to do is
information to the
hack
San
into
Michel
San
Dam, but
Michel
oh no,
Dam
a
mainframe.
glove. He has ego tattooed on his chest.
God, that's so beautiful.
Look at the guy. I love this guy's visual design. I think it's absolutely great. His entire character is just that ego-focused, tough guy. It's like he's a professional wrestler that steals memories.
And it's being aired.
It is, yeah. The drones are actually airing this live at all
Yeah,
times.
it's actually
Always
really
waste
awesome.
So much saliva.
Also,
Or is it just when
so
you're on the
another
air?
lip sync issue right there.
Yeah.
Not quite fantastic. Okay, I love this next line.
Time for the Christmas show!
Just for the waddle. Like it's all dramatic. He waddles out, and look at this. That is technically Sensen, but the first time I didn't realize that, and I thought he had literally set up a fireworks display, anticipating our arrival. So he sets up a wrestling ring for our fight, and I fucking love the Kid Christmas boss fight. Because the music is really good. Compared to a lot of the game where the music's I really like the theme for Kid Christmas, mostly because it increases in intensity as the fight goes on. Isn't that great? So yeah, the Kid Christmas fight. Kid Christmas will block everything that you try to throw at him. So you just have to beat on this guy until you get enough focus. By the way, if you'll notice my focus is empty, this is because I had to continue. Anytime you continue in the game, it immediately cuts out your entire focus meter.
Okay.
So there is some incentive to not doing that. If you dodge his charge and just let him kind of finish that up, you can hit him, but you're not going to be dealing much damage. Also, he hits not actually as hard as the Enforcers.
Yeah, that's surprising.
But he does have the same sort of, after you finish a combo, I will counter you thing. So you have to learn to combo fully against Kid Christmas, and you have to know how to dodge. So he's definitely a bit of a wake-up call boss. Like, if you're not doing things well, you're not going to be able to do this. So I figure, you know what, I'm already this far along. Why not just finish off the first portion without even having to use my Sense and Fury? So, just kind of wail on him, because he just, for this first part of the fight, he's very easy. And I didn't want to have to waste my focus bar just to get him down that final piece of health when it's easy enough to just beat him up. So yeah, you hit him again and you're suddenly teleported to the middle of the ring for a cutscene. He's got gold teeth too.
Of course he does.
You've earned a taste of Kid's hammers. It's time to meet the Scaramechs!
So Kid has a gun.
Oh no.
He has a mind gun. What this does is it sends junk data to the target, but for some reason, junk data does not travel very fast. In fact, it travels about the speed of a slow projectile.
Because the speed of light was just not cutting it for us.
Exactly. So if you use Sense and Fury, you will immediately break Kid Christmas's guard and deal a bunch of damage.
Okay.
On hardest difficulty, it takes 2 combos to get him through his second portion, and 3 full Furies to get through the full health bar, to get the last part of his health bar. Because if you notice, it's segmented. Like, it tells you when the cutscenes are going to
Yeah,
be.
that's actually... I kind of like it.
I do. It means that you're not going to waste something when you know something's about to happen.
So you're just going to beat him down normally.
Yeah, I'm just going to beat him down normally now. The thing about his second form is that he doesn't like to charge as much, so it's a bit harder to deal damage to him. So I just decided, fuck it. And just decided to go through. So now we beat him up again, and you can see he's getting a bit tired. By the way, I really like the Spammer's visual design. Like the white, sharp glove
Yeah.
made of mind fragments.
Made of mind fragments.
Yeah, it's really
Because
nice.
that is
Well done,
purely
Kid.
created through the sensor, right?
Exactly.
Final segment.
By the way, so is that wall. We can't get through because if we try to go through, our mind thinks there's something there,
Position.
and we will get hurt because of it.
It's time for
Very interesting.
Also, it actually does project a force. Like, there's presumably something throwing you back if that happens, but... So yeah, he's just absolutely addicted to the crowd. And he just tries to get everyone pumped up. And now he's doing mines. And mines actually make this fight really easy, but I forgot about that until after I recorded it. The thing is, if you drag Kid Christmas, like you cause him to go towards mines, if he is in a mine's detonation radius when it goes off, it will immediately stagger him. And you can get in a couple of free hits. But otherwise, they are just proximity mines. They're not just going to go off after a set amount of time. You have to actually go into the detonation range for them to go off. So here, I'm just trying to build up more
Yeah.
focus to be able to take him out. But yeah, so I really like this thing. Also because you can see where there are set positions for the mines. Like, you can see that that's where a mine can go.
Yeah,
It's just not active.
A mind mine.
Exactly. I try to hit him into the mine here to see if it can do anything, and if that had worked, that would have been really nice, but no dice. So I've done quite a and I've done quite a bit of damage to him. So at this point, one more Sense and Fury will probably take him out. And one other really good thing about the Sense and Fury that I should mention, if you'll look at our focus, it's nearly full again, because any hit with the Sense and Fury does still fill focus.
That's good.
Also, I barely managed to dodge out there. But the big limiting factor later in the game is going to be your cooldowns. Sense and Fury is easily the shortest cooldown at 60 seconds,
Oh.
but some of the later ones go up to like 180 or 240 or even 300.
I mean, just more incentive to use those cooldown.
Exactly. Cooldown presence get really important, especially for the final boss.
Okay.
Because as you might imagine, it's a bit of a kind of final exam boss. Anyway, when you get him low enough, he gets a terminate animation, and you have to be teleported to the center of the arena, and you just have to do some quick time events. And these were actually sort of difficult until I realized that the position of the prompts corresponds to where they are on the screen on the keypad.
That
So Y
actually
will always appear at the top of the screen. I think that's a nice touch, and I do think it helps out quite a bit. Also, did you see that? She just mirrored his line.
No way.
Oh, it's so good.
Not here. Not
In front of his fans.
Exactly, poor kid.
Just use your glove thingy and make him your ally.
No, you just overload him. Cause fuck this guy.
Wait, we can talk. I can give
You just
a
knock him out.
Oh, okay.
At least I'm pretty sure. Either that or these guys have some serious issues. Literally everyone you face in the game is going to have memory issues after this, if that is truly messing them up as it might be.
You know,
I'm pretty sure it
might
just
be.
knocks them unconscious,
Okay.
though. By the way, you got the spammer.
Oh.
Yeah. So this is the gun I mentioned briefly earlier, by accident. This is what we will be shooting people with. And all of his drones break for some reason.
So, it shoots data packets.
It shoots data packets of spam data that overload whatever they hit.
So it's a stun type gun?
No, it actually does damage.
Oh.
Because technically, all the hits that we deal in the game are to the Sensen. Because look at her, she's like a...
Thanks to the codes
She's tiny, right? So, naturally, the hits that we're dealing are actually... We're hitting them, but it's more just getting in close and actually getting them, like, off stagger. Just so we can affect their Sensen. Any hits that we deal are directly to the Sensen. You'll see this later, in that if there are enemies tougher than just normal dudes, we will never actually hit them. We're only going to use the spammer, because we are not going to hit anything harder than people. So yeah. Oh, right, by the way, you're a wanted fugitive. Might as well broadcast your face to everyone watching Kid Christmas's acclaimed show.
Which, I mean, we have to assume it's millions of
Yeah.
viewers.
Yeah. I mean, there are only a couple billion left on.
Oh,
by the way, remember those codes we got for the dam? Edge opened the dam and flooded the entire area we were just in. Remember the part at the end of the last episode where I said we were going to commit mass murder? I wasn't kidding.
What the? That's like not cool.
That's really fucked.
So
There is
he doesn't like these people.
no, at all. So, I think part of it is that, you know, like, we have to lower the water level, because it's directly adjacent to Slum 404. So now we've lowered the water level in Slum 404, which will do something later.
Okay.
And, we flooded the entire area, which I think might be a bit of Edge kind of doing things. Oh, by the way, the San Louis Lake and the Bastille is no longer flooded around it. The lake is no longer there. La Bastille is now accessible via means other than getting out of there in a coffin.
I can't help but think that that was part of the goal.
It was.
Okay.
Yeah, that was pretty much the entire goal, though we don't know it yet.
Well,
The fact that it flooded...
Spite the rich people.
Spite the rich people, exactly. There were probably other ways, but Edge decided, fuck that, this is fastest and rich people get off badly?
Yeah.
So, yeah, that's alright. Also, one of the notable things about it is that, one of Edge's biggest problems with them is that they just try to forget whatever's wrong with their life.
So he just,
Good luck forgetting this.
yeah, thrusts
A giant thing that they can't ignore upon them. So yeah. Next episode, we don't commit mass murder.
hey,
Yeah.
that's a plus.
Yeah.
Kinda.